Hi everyone, I'm Julia Walker, a North Carolina estate planning attorney, here to help you understand why it is important to plan for your life and legacy. What is a year's allowance? A year's allowance is a type of probate. Probate is the court process that makes sure assets an individual owned in their individual name at death goes to the legally entitled recipient. These assets would be those that are not owned joint with right of survivorship and assets that do not have a beneficiary designated. Every state has its own probate court system, and just like any other legal proceeding, the court records are public. A year's allowance permits a limited transfer of the deceased's cash and/or personal property to the surviving spouse and/or surviving dependent children. A dependent child is a child under the age of 18, under the age of 22 if a full-time student, or under the age of 21 if declared mentally incompetent or totally disabled. Currently, in North Carolina, a spousal allowance can be up to $60,000, and a dependent child's allowance can be up to $5,000 per child. Some important things to note are that a year's allowance is available whether the deceased died with or without a will. It can only be filed within 1 year of the deceased's death. It is limited to cash and personal property, such as vehicles, bank account funds, and uncashed or refund checks payable to the deceased or their estate. And real property is not a permissible transfer for the allowance. The year's allowance is a very efficient type of probate to transfer assets. For example, if the deceased passed away with less than the allotted allowance owned in their individual name and was survived by a spouse, then this type of probate may be all that is necessary. Or if the deceased passed away with more than the allotted allowance in their individual name, the allowance helps ensure the surviving spouse and dependent children have adequate funds for their necessities, while the deceased's remaining assets are frozen during the larger probate proceeding, such as a small estate administration or full administration. However, an attorney can work with you to determine if the year's allowance is available and if it may be all that is needed for your specific situation. I know probate and figuring out the right type of probate can be confusing and overwhelming, especially after the loss of a loved one. I can help if you need assistance determining your best course of action and your next steps. That's going to be it for today. I hope you liked this video and found it helpful. Please share with anyone you think needs to hear it. Again, I'm Julia Walker, a North Carolina estate planning attorney, here to help you understand why it is important to plan for your life and legacy. Have a great day.